Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Maximum Momming. So today in this video you're going to see me do a major clean. I'm focusing on the common areas because they have been neglected since this summer has started, and I know my girls are going to want to invite people over. We're going to have guests come through. They're going to want to jump in the pool in this Central Valley heat, and I know that they're going to come through and the main thing they're going to see is the common areas. So I focused today on the kitchen, the living room, the guest bathroom, and the front entrance. I wanted to throw in the guest bedroom, but once I saw the shape of the kitchen, the living room, the front entrance, and the guest bathroom, I knew that I was going to be totally exhausted once I cleaned those areas. So I just left out the guest bedroom for another time. That's just going to be another room that I'm going to have to tackle at a later date, because I don't have anybody coming in from out of town who's going to need to sleep over. So I figure, the guests are not going to pay attention to that right now. So I can just leave that or put that on the back burner this second, and then just focus on the rooms that people are going to see, right now. So I'm going to just, in this video, you're going to see me just tackle the rooms that I think people are going to see right now. And that will be the kitchen, the living room, the front entrance, and the guest bathroom. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead to the subscribe button and join the Maximum Momming family. There's plenty of videos on my channel for you to watch, love, and enjoy. Cleaning motivation, organizational videos, and just go ahead to the subscribe button. And let's get to work. So overwhelm is a monster, and I have been feeling that a lot lately. So that's why a lot of these rooms I feel like have been neglected, including the common areas that I am cleaning in this video. So I have just been leaving the clean up to my daughters to take care of, like the kitchen mainly. I've been leaving it up to them to clean. And they for the most part do a good surface area clean. They make it look okay, but they don't. You move a toaster, you move the utensils jar or whatever, and you see crumbs behind it. You lift it, you see crumbs. You move the fruit basket, and there's like spilled juice underneath. It's those type of things. So I've just been letting them handle it, but my anxiety start to flare, and I realize it's time for Maximum Mom to get into the kitchen and do a thorough clean, because I have just been letting them handle it. And I just been feeling a little bit like overwhelmed to the point where I've been paralyzed, and I just couldn't thoroughly clean the house the way I've wanted to. Because I have other things that have been, taking up a lot of my time. I have been writing a new novel as well as editing a novel, and I have been just consumed by that. And I've just been letting the house go a little bit. So I've been cleaning, as you've been seeing in my videos, but I have not been just complete whole house cleaning because it's just been just complete overwhelm. And so I have just gotten to the point where I just was like, I've got to just take care of all of this. So this day I was like, let me handle it. And I just got to cleaning. So yeah, I'm just on a roll right now, and I'm just got to manage my time. So I didn't want to make it seem like my daughters aren't cleaning. They're cleaning the kitchen, and they're sweeping, they're doing the dishes, they're loading and unloading the dishwasher, they are wiping off the counters, they're cleaning the stove, they're sweeping, they're doing all that stuff. But they can get complacent in what they're doing, and when they wipe the counters, they're not lifting things, they're just wiping the counter and wiping around things and stuff like that. And when they're sweeping the floor, but they're not moving the chairs from under the table, so there's still crumbs under the table, that kind of thing. And even though I'll tell them, hey, make sure you get under the table, make sure you lift things, they might do that in the beginning, but then they'll get a little bit, and so they might not do that. So I know this, and so I wasn't staying on top of them. I wasn't, making sure that it was getting handled. So it was just kind of like I was letting it go, and I don't usually do that. So I just knew, okay, I'm maybe a little more overwhelmed than I thought that I was. So I just had to get to a point where I had to start managing my time a little bit better and being more organized, and get to the point where I'm like, hey, I'm not so overwhelmed with things that I'm a little paralyzed with everything. And so letting things just go and letting things just sit and be completely not being on top of things. So yeah, I decided, I'm going to be more on top of things. And now I'm going to clean it all, give it a clean slate, and then be on top of them when they clean the kitchen, because it is their job to close the kitchen out every single night. Not mine, it's theirs. And just in the morning, I kind of give it a once over and make sure that they did it the right way, which the right way usually is my way. And just kind of check it out, make sure they did it. And so that's what I'm just gonna do, make sure it's done. And what I usually do. So for the summer, I gotta just stay on top of them. said before that I wanted to throw the guest room into this cleanup day, but I didn't throw the guest room in because it is a whole project in itself. This is something that really needs to be taken care of kind of on its own or with the other bedrooms, because in January my husband's sister and her husband and her son, my in-laws, they came and they used the guest room, and I kind of completely neglected that room since they left. And it's now June, almost July, and I have yet to tackle that room. I took all the linens off the bed and just took the second bed that we had in there out. So there's still a bed in there. But I just hadn't washed all the linens or made the beds or vacuumed in there. I just hadn't taken care of it. It's just still not where it needs to be for a new guest who might arrive or anything like that. And there's also some other things that I need to do to that room just to if I want to use it for storage or just anything else. I just need to wrap my mind around reorganizing that room, and I just have yet to do that. So that's a project in itself. So I just didn't want to add that to this because it would just be just kind of tackling something, like I said, just a total project tacking it onto this clean. So I left that alone, and I just decided to do the rooms that I had planned, the ones that you're seeing me clean right now, and just focus on these 4. So I'm gonna basically work with the guest room on its own, and I may record it, I may film it, or I may not do that. I might just do it by itself and not film it at all. Okay, as someone with anxiety, it's kind of difficult, to be in your home and just have it a mess. Because if your home's a mess, it basically feels like your mind is a mess. So when I see my house, get neglected, it's just like my mind's getting neglected, and it's hard for me to focus on writing and getting things done. So this is me trying to basically sort out the house so that I can have my mind sorted out so that I can get things taken care of. Now, I'm focusing on the common areas here, but there are the bedrooms that still need to be taken care of. And in my last video, I took care of the laundry and get that tackled and out of the way. And now I'm getting the common areas cleaned, and next is the bedrooms, or are the bedrooms. I want to get the bedrooms done and up to par and sparkling clean as well. So the guest bedroom is going to be on that list also, but like I said, that's a project in itself. So I got to figure out how I'm going to get that one all together, as well as the other 3 bedrooms in the house. into the living room. As you can see, it's basically just a mishmash of just stuff we've been working on, or projects, or just, you know, this is where we basically live our lives in the living room. And it's just a lot of projects, a lot of things that were going on, hair supplies, nail polish, yarn, is everything in here. And it's just got to go back to where it belongs, is mainly what's going on here. And that's pretty much what happens in this space. Everything collects here, and it's our job to get it back to where it belongs, or find a spot in here where it can stay and where you can find it and is neatly put away. And so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to find a spot where it can stay here, or it can go back to where it belongs in one of the other rooms in the house. And I have found where it can stay here, some of the things like the crochet stuff that my daughter and I are doing, because yes, this summer we have pretty much vowed that we're going to learn how to crochet. Me being somebody who doesn't know anything about crochet, like nothing at all. As for my daughter, who knows a little bit, so she's a little bit more advanced than I am. And so she's been teaching me a little bit more stuff. But we have our yarn and our beginning stuff, and so we have been working on that this summer. So that project is sitting on the table, as well as my daughter, who was doing her nails, so that's on the table. And then my other daughter, who is working on her hair, so her supplies are on the table. It's just so much stuff. And so we were working on that and getting that together. So I'm just trying to get everything, you know, give it a place or take it back to its home. And that's just basically my plan right in this room. And then also just vacuuming and all that in this space. So we have been trying this summer to just find different things to do. And of course we have our pool outside, so we've been trying to do that, get in the pool more often, and enjoy that as well. But we've been starting new projects and trying to find new avenues to exert energy. So we've been picking up on exercising and going to the gym and doing that kind of thing. But like I said, my daughter and I picked up crochet, so we're going to work on that. So my daughters and I this summer have also, like I was saying, we want to pick up some new things. So if there's like, leave it in the comments if there's some things that you've started doing this summer that you want to learn to do, or something that you do during the summer with your kids. Leave it in the comments. Let us know. If you're new to this channel, then I just want to let you know, like, my daughters are 14 and 17, and we just like to try new things. So leave it in the comments if there's something that you think we should try or we can do. Just let me know. We basically have started to try new like exercises, and some we were looking for like some new channels. So if you know somebody who has a good channel with some good exercises on it, leave it in the comments. Let us know. We can check them out. If there's like my daughter and I do crochet, if there's like some crochet videos or crochet channel that you think we should check out, leave it in the comments. Just let us know, because we're trying to do some improvement this summer, and we would love to check out some new channels. So our guest bathroom is a little bit, it makes me a little anxious the most. Well, not a little, it makes me a lot anxious. Because my girls have to use this bathroom as well as our guest. And my girls, it's hard like keeping it clean constantly because, they live in this bathroom, they use it all the time, and it's kind of like, they're kids, so it's hard for them to just keep it spotless, every day. And for me, when I want my guests to come, I want it to be spotless for them. And so it's like I kind of let it go sometimes because we don't always have a lot of guests coming over. But then when we do have guests, it's like I'm running around with a chicken with my head cut off because I'm like, oh my God, it is a mess. And so I'm trying to maintain it, but it's a little bit difficult. So it's the reason why I have like the most stress when it comes to cleaning the rooms, because it's like I want it spotless, but then we don't have a lot of guests. But then when we do have guests, it's like it is never clean for the guests. So it's just kind of difficult to keep it maintained, the most. So I try my best, but it never ends up that way. So this is the room that I have to put the most effort into on a daily basis, because I have to just keep it in mind. And I always put it on my to-do list to go in and tidy it, to go in and make sure that it's neat. But like I said, I have been neglecting a lot of these rooms lately. So this is the one that if you just leave it for a week, it's gonna be a hot mess. So it's like the laundry, like, you can wash all the laundry, but if you just not wash anything for a week, it's like you got 8 loads. So this bathroom is like that. Like if you just leave it for a week, it's like you hadn't cleaned it at all. So I just have to, try my best to stay on top of it and try to keep it maintained, because it can easily be one of those rooms that fall by the wayside. And once it does, it gets completely just goes overboard.
kids are home for the summer, it seems like you can clean one room, and by the time you move on to the next one, that room has spawned like clothes and whatever else that gets thrown around. It's just like it never ends. And so I'm like, my work is basically to try and keep these rooms cleaned and maintained. And it's just always difficult. So I'm trying my best not to beat myself up about these rooms not being as sparkling clean as I want them to be, because I deal with, perfectionism and things like that, where I want everything to be perfect and I want it all to just be, just completely perfect all around. And I know that that's impossible, that I'm not going to be able to keep my house completely spotless and perfect when there's 3 other people living here who don't have the same agenda. And I know that's difficult, but it's just kind of like in my DNA to just want to keep everything spotless and that sort of thing. So I was kind of beating myself up about these rooms not being perfect and perfectly clean. But, after a while, I realized, okay, I'm just going to clean them. And, every day I go and I try to tidy up those spaces and just keep them as clean as possible. And, if you have that problem, leave it in the comments. Let me know. Leave a heart, if you can relate to my dilemma. Just let me know, because basically it's just, a matter of, letting go sometimes. And, if the living room isn't perfect, it's okay. If the bathroom isn't perfect, it's okay. But I know that I can just be a little bit uptight about these things a lot, because I want them to be, perfectly clean, to the best of their ability, and to my ability. So I try my best to just really work hard to make sure that they are as sparkling clean as they could possibly be. And I just have to breathe sometimes when they aren't perfect. if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the Maximum Momming family. And also, if you're new to the channel, you're probably thinking that, okay, there's 4 people in this house, and some of these shoes have to belong to, to all 4 of the people in the house. But you would be wrong, because all of these shoes only belong to 3 people in the house. My husband's shoes are not by the front door. They are not in this entrance. All of these shoes belong to me and my 2 girls. Like, we own all of these shoes. And there's also a basket that is by the front door as well, and that is full of shoes as well. So yeah, my husband's shoes are all in our bedroom, and he does not leave his shoes by the front door. So yeah, we own all these shoes, me and my 2 daughters, and that I know there's a lot of shoes by the front door because we wear them all. Yeah, I basically, I like variety, so with every outfit, I do not wear the same pair of shoes. I alternate shoes, and yeah, that's just kind of how it goes. But yeah, so I like my front entrance, and I usually like just keep it nice and clean, because I know that's kind of the first thing that people see when they walk into your home. And I know Marie Kondo in her book talks about the front entrance and how it's important, and you keep it clean, and you keep it almost spotless. So I listen to that, and I try to keep it nice and neat and clean. Right now is pretty filthy, so I'm gonna sweep it up and mop it, and hopefully get it back to my personal standard. Thank you for watching. Oh my gosh, guys, you see my cat, he's so cute. But thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment. And as you can see, the house looks so much better. The living room looks great. The bathroom looks great. The front entrance, you will see, looks awesome. And the kitchen. The kitchen looks so good because it's hard. You gotta admit, it's hard to cook in a kitchen that is dirty, that's filthy. You know, you can't cook in a kitchen where you already have dishes everywhere or pots everywhere or just stuff everywhere. And at least for me, personally, for me, I can't cook that way. So I have to have a really clean kitchen. And it was, grating on my nerves when I go in the kitchen and there's pots and pans and dishes and stuff everywhere, or crumbs, even crumbs would get to me. So, I was just like, I gotta take care of this. So I did, and I'm happy about it. Everything looks really, really good. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and join the Maximum Momming family. Like I said before, there's plenty of videos for you to watch and enjoy. We have pantry cleanouts, we have refrigerator cleanouts and everything like that, pantry organizational videos, linen closet videos, cleaning motivation. You get where I'm going with this. You're gonna love them. And as you can see in this video, I did a lot of cleaning. I was exhausted after the fact. So I will catch you guys in the next video. Subscribe. Bye.